Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second Clue Crew podcast. I am back with my friends Allison. Say hello.
Hey.
And Maddie.
Hi.
And this week we have another pal joining us today. It is, drumroll please, I Want a Cocoa Kringle. Say hello, Cammie.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so this week in our Clue Crew playthrough endeavor, we are discussing Warnings at Waverly Academy. So, what are your overarching feelings towards this game?
Okay, I'm gonna go first.
I feel good.
I really love this game. Like, this was the first Nancy Drew game that when I finished playing it, I immediately started playing it again. I had never done that before, but this one was just like, I'm not ready to leave this game. Like, I need to play it again. You know, like, there's just such a great atmosphere, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I always replay the games immediately.
Really? I don't think I've ever done that.
Really? Oh my god. That's so wild to me. Every time I got a new game, God bless, I miss the days.
We get new games all the time.
Yeah, here's the question. Did you do it with mid?
No.
I could barely finish that thing. Oh, man.
I actually did start replaying it, but halfway through I was just like, I can't. But yeah. So, I've actually always had more of a minority opinion for this game. It's not one of my favorites.
Really?
It's not one of my favorites. But I sort of blame that on my expectations for it before it came out. That's what I usually tell people, at least. I don't know what it was. Like, it was something about, you know, remember the first music track that they released from that game was that super creepy, like, Michael Myers sounding one?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so that was the first music track we heard from the game, and so I got my hopes up. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be like a spooky, like, school with a black cat and all this really cool, creepy atmosphere, and I let my imagination run wild with, like, scenes and plot lines, and then it didn't happen.
So then you just got, like...
I do not follow the Facebook stuff that closely.
Oh, this was back in the day when it was coming out. They had it on, like, the actual Her Interactive website. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
I think it was, they had just released the mini game for the snack shop, and so they played that music.
Oh.
Like at the end of it or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm really disappointed that I can't find the, like, website that they released. For, like, I feel like all of those things that were released for this game would be so cool to look back on.
I know.
That would be hilarious to read that.
I know. I remember it had, like, all of those testimonials from past characters. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember Hotchkiss was one of them.
Oh, she attended?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Wow. I remember that now.
I mean, they had like Professor Hotchkiss gossip from back in the day.
I know, right? Gosh, what a missed opportunity.
Yeah, they wrote
just
like letters.
Yeah. Running around the hall, just like slipping it underneath the doors.
Yes. The Black Cat notes were their version of texting.
Yeah, right?
Brilliant.
I was gonna say, do you have anything else on your general thoughts?
I really like this game. In fact, I was like really craving playing this game for a while, and so was super excited when this was number 2. But I feel like anytime it's like kind of like fall, wintry time, this is like the perfect game to play because the atmosphere is just excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I do like the atmosphere.
The snow is always so nice.
Yeah,
I know. I think it's a good game. It's got like some pretty good substance to it, I think. There's some twists and turns along the way. And I love the school. I love the snow. I think I was just expecting more like Snoopy, creepy gameplay, and I got like texting and girl drama.
Yeah, it's a lot of drama. Yeah.
Which is fun. Don't get me wrong.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I really like it, but it's probably for like less common reasons, and I think because I love things that are like kind of really make no sense, but the thing commits to it so hard.
Yes.
And like I feel like every aspect of like the entire summary of how everyone behaves and acts in this game makes zero sense, but they all are so like determined and opinionated about everything that it's great. Like the game just runs with all of these ridiculous ideas, and I love that it's unapologetically like insane.
That's great. Yeah, that's valid.
This was also Kyle's first Nancy Drew game that he's ever played, which
Sweet.
was crazy that it's taken this long, but it was hilarious to watch him play and try to because he tries to piece everything together like right off the gate. He's like,
"Oh, great,
you did it! Oh, you did it! No, you didn't do it. You did it!" And I'm like, "Just play the game."
I love it. All of either your like little tags or like side comments that he was making throughout. It made me laugh. Like the Dementors.
I was over here with my phone like ha 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 and like just tweet it or updating it on Tumblr like ha ha ha.
All right, so Rachel and Kim and their horrible plan for getting into college.
Oh my god.
Right?
It works on 0 levels. Like there's no part of this that works.
The funny thing is, oh, go ahead.
I'm still just so angry about the letter. Like walking in knowing the fact that they are twins and they are literally taking like maybe 3 classes each because they have split a course load, and they have the audacity to write this letter to this person that has never been met and they, like is moving into a new situation and they're like, "Hey, you don't have anything going on. I've come do all of our minimal homework. We are already anyway." It like makes me angry.
Welcome to America. Please do all of my homework. Thanks.
Oh my god,
the
I
American
know.
way, okay.
And that's actually an angle.
Talk to you.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was that was the end of that comment. It's just then they won't talk to you until you do their homework.
Yes.
Like, even after you find out that it's 2 of them, and like you come in and they're like, "I'm sorry, your pictures are not beautiful. You need to go fix them right
it's
now."
so true.
I totally forgot about that until replaying it, and I literally like was so annoyed. I was like, "Are you effing kidding me? Oh my god!"
Okay, but let's be real. Rachel is the problematic one. Rachel is the one who wrote that letter.
Rachel versus Kim.
Rachel is the one who Rachel's the one who has attitude with Mel for absolutely no reason.
Oh, true. You're right.
Does she have attitude, or I read it as she was afraid of Mel?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see it that way. Because the way she says it, she's like, Mel has it and I just don't want to deal with her.
Yeah, I just thought, again, and it might have just been all of the talks about a goth. Like,
a goth.
Oh my lord, like a goth? Like, dun. So I was like, oh, clearly she also is side of the goth.
It's probably open to interpretation, honestly, because I could see either way. Reblog with your interpretation of Rachel's feelings about Mel.
Yeah.
I thought it was more like she was afraid. Well, not maybe afraid, but like that Mel would figure out that, there was something not right there. Like, that she was going to be found out. That's kind of what I thought it was.
It could have been like if it's like Kim who goes to math class or whatever, and so she usually has those interactions with her, so maybe like Rachel didn't want to go talk to Mel because they don't interact.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that makes sense.
That
makes a lot of sense.
When this game came out, I in the whole reveal with the main twins, I never questioned it as a kid. I was like,
me either.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Makes sense. And then now I'm like, what are you thinking?
I know.
Are you going to go to work like that? Like, I'll take every other day.
I'd like to read the ongoing missing person file for where Kim.
Yeah.
Oh, I know they say their dad has no sense of raising girls, but this is not a gender issue here. This is your child is missing.
I know, right?
Yeah, because like the school would have to contact him like about Rachel, but they never mentioned Kim.
He's like, yeah, tracks, that's fine.
Oh God, I know. There's like an international search warrant out for Kim. I also, another thing that I wondered about, like, do you think that they just alternate who gets to sleep in the comfy bed downstairs?
True.
I mean, it didn't look like such of a bad arrangement. It looked like it was a bigger dorm room, to be honest, in the weird, like, crawl space.
The attic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I absolutely love the fact that they were lucky enough to get the one room that's connected to the attic.
Mm-hmm.
But
just in this last year,
like just for seniors and like the valedictorians. So what were they doing the other years at school? Like,
true.
One had to go outside every night.
It doesn't make any sense.
One sleeping in the tree.
Yeah.
Casper's their homie.
Yeah.
Crawling into the furnace.
Oh my God.
What if one of them just lived in the cellar?
Oh,
dang,
yeah. They're the one who dropped the key at the...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of random key finding in this game. Like,
yeah.
When you do the snack shop and then you just get the key randomly, and then the other key is just like in the pantry, right?
Okay. Yes,
right.
But you have to turn the light on.
Yes.
And for the longest time, I wouldn't turn the light on, and I was like, I know there's a key there. Give it to me.
So I literally kept opening the closet, and I was like,
yes.
Why can't I click any further? Oh yeah, it drove me crazy.
It drove me crazy. I actually had to look it up, like the cheats, and then when I found out, okay, turn the light on, I was like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, I thought that's
pissed.
what it was, but I had tried to turn the light on while the door was closed, and they don't let you click on the light switch while the door is closed.
So stupid.
Wow.
So I was like, well, I can't turn the light on, so that's not it. I must have forgotten where the key was.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I almost made a post about that key that randomly falls into your lap in the snack shop.
So random.
I didn't make the post.
Mr. Harris.
Because I was like, where's the comedic value in this? But I'm in it for the notes. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, like, was it one of the students just had it and tossed it as a tip?
Mr. Harris.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Harris.
Now I'm scrolling because I was looking for a particular meme, but I don't remember what it was. I heard Mr. Harris and I was like, oh dear Lord, I kept playing Snack Shop to try to get all of the details. I was like, I need more information.
I love the Snack Shop.
That's so
That was
fun.
my favorite.
So it actually did not happen to me on this playthrough, but I know I mentioned I played it like a month or two ago, and so that time when I played it, whenever Corrine was like, hey, bring me a bagel and an apple and whatever, I kept getting teacher orders like back to back to back to back. I was like, oh my God.
Before too, yeah.
It was driving me crazy, especially because like I would always fail.
Yeah, and then Nancy like calls you out for failing about needing to be faster. And I'm like, listen, I'm trying my best.
I don't think that. I always feel so bad like I'm bragging, but I think it's just all of these mini games that Her Interactive released before the games came out. I played them so obsessively at the time. Like, yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
Teacher order gives me anxiety though, but I don't normally fail them, but I always
Which one?
feel very
The teacher
anxious,
orders?
Yeah, the teacher orders.
Yeah,
it's like 15 things on a sandwich. Like, really, you're gonna eat that?
I know. I kept failing them.
And all
like,
of them are
mouse...
lettuce.
Yeah. Oh my God, for real.
Meat, lettuce, 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 tomato, lettuce, cheese, lettuce, lettuce.
Like you just want a salad.
They're just really healthy. Yeah. I want a salad with maybe a bread on the side.
Yeah.
Croutons.
Can I have some salad in between 2 croutons, please?
2 large, extra large croutons.
Can you imagine if somebody just called bread large croutons?
I think that's the only explanation for what's happening. That or my other thought on this is that this is the new diet that they're all trying for Mr. Harris's purpose.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
They're like, have you heard of the lettuce sandwich diet? Like,
so good for you.
But then some of them will splurge and they'll have tomatoes instead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or cookies galore.
Yep. Is it just me or do the cookies take way too long to bake?
So I always have a cookie ready. So like I put it in and then I open the oven when it's done. So like I never.
Smart.
So that's just always there. So I don't really pay attention to the cookie making. I'm not a big snack shop person, or I wasn't. I actually enjoyed it this playthrough, but it's because I used my stylus on my computer and so I was trying to use the trackpad. And I was like, oh, I can see how this is kind of just like calming, like making the orders.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I'm always like, how can I get through this as fast as possible without like getting in trouble here?
I played the snack shop minigame a lot before the game came out because I was hyped, but now that the game is out, I'm not a big fan. I enjoy.
You just kill time doing it and listen to the gossip. Some of it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
The gossip is funny.
There's some good gossip. And I don't know, sometimes I'll just get in the mood, you know? I'll get a wild hair in the middle of playing the game and I'll just be like, you know what? I want to do snack shop. And then I finish 3 orders and I'm like, why did I want to do this?
Well, at one point I was like, I want to get some credits because I've pulled the fire alarm so many times. So let's do the snack shop a bunch. But then I didn't realize that Paige doesn't give you credits until the next day for doing the snack shop. So I couldn't remember if I had done it 5 times. So I think I ended up doing it like 15 times.
Just to be sure.
I don't think, I was like, I want to make sure I definitely get these credits. And then I woke up the next morning and I had like multiple messages because I had done like my 5 multiple. So I was like, oh, this is why. I still am so unsettled by that meat. It looks like Spam.
Oh.
It does.
Like, it's
It
gross.
is. It is very spammy.
I do not like deli meat, and it's just...
I don't
It's
either.
just sitting out there, like, it's not refrigerated, or like the cheese, or, you know, the lettuce and tomatoes, like...
Right? You know how cheese gets too when it's like sliced cheese that's all warm and they just stick together.
Yeah, it's wet.
The Waverly special lettuce and sweaty cheese.
Yum. When I was young, I used to like specifically make little like bagel sandwiches because I was like, I'm in Waverly Academy, you know, making cheese and lettuce on my bagel. I was that kid.
That Waverly website really let you go all out and create your class. Like which building do you want to stay in? When do you graduate? What majors are you gonna take? It was like, it was so exciting. It was too much for my like 13-year-old heart to take. Wow, this game came out that long ago, huh?
Yeah.
I know, yeah. You
like,
forget.
when did this game... What year did this game come
2009.
Oh, wow.
It's 11. Oh, my Lord.
I know. I was actually 12. Thinking about it.
Wow.
in 2009? I was like 20. Like, we had very different experiences with these games because I was not a little kid.
It's funny.
But it was really fun.
Yeah, I would have had to have been 14 at that time. Just a little freshman.
So something that I have noticed on every replay of that game in the last couple of years that for some reason I didn't even notice in the first place was how the audio for the Mel's cello gets so chopped up and distorted when you're talking to Corrine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it took me by surprise because I hadn't noticed it the first time I played the game, but then like every time since I have noticed it. It's not very interesting, but it's just a
listen, Mel does make mistakes in her cello playing. I know she practices every single minute of the day. But sometimes
when I woke up in the middle of the night, the cello music was still going. It was like 1 a.m.
Really?
Isn't that like against the rules? What is happening?
Really? That's great.
I love that Paige yells at you for being awake in your room.
Like,
Right.
like just fall asleep.
It's not even that your alarm is going off. It's like you're up right now. Like you need to be asleep right now.
Yeah,
Unless
Paige hires you to be a detective, and then she's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Actual detection. Go to bed."
Right? Like, she doesn't want you to actually do any detective work. She doesn't want to speak to you or look at you.
Yeah.
I kept knocking on her door and she's like, I don't want to talk right now.
I know, I wanted to see like what the level of dialogue would go if I could hit like a point if I kept, but then it started to recognize, so no, never mind.
Go away, please.
Yeah.
I will say, I know this was a recurring theme on Tumblr, but the whole demerit / credit system is such a background afterthought for me. Like, I literally don't give it a single thought when I play that game.
Yep.
I don't
I
usually.
don't normally either.
It was just because everyone was talking about like doing all of the like illicit things, and so I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's climb out the window, pull the fire alarm, live a chaotic life.
I may have climbed out the window once.
I definitely
That's
did.
all I'll say.
Did it a few times, and then I was really upset when I tried to climb out on the third day, and because the snowfall was too much, Nancy wouldn't let me out the window.
Oh my god.
And I felt so cheated. I was like, just because of a little snow, this is
Just because of a little snow.
I also opened the door, like unlocked the classroom door in the middle of the day and didn't even think about it. And she's like, "That's 10
And I was
for
like, what are you doing, Paige? Are you following
Right?
me around everywhere I go?
She's just like sneaking behind you.
She's a
I'm ready.
freaking ninja because you never see her.
It's really just like a doorbell kind of response that's been pre-recorded, and Paige is secretly behind me.
She's like, kids are always breaking into this classroom.
This one classroom.
Want to get
Which
some
also-
learning on.
Also upset me because I was like, Rachel and Kim, like, you know that I can't get into this classroom. Like,
Yes. I always
Yeah.
think that too.
yeah.
Like, they know I have to break the rules to get this picture. But
Yeah.
they're just like, oh, good, you got the pictures.
And if you don't, I won't talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And the game can't progress.
And then you're trapped.
Making sandwiches.
All day.
Mhm.
One thing though, I love how in the game, when you're talking to people or questioning people about the missing Black Cat book, you know, Nancy's always just like, she uses like earning credits as her excuse, you know, as to like why she's asking about it. But then like she actually finds the book and she's like, I can earn some credits.
Listen, Nancy goes in on, she wanted that junior park ranger pin. She wants
True.
these credits.
She is a goody goody.
She's definitely a goody goody. But I just think it's funny.
Fine line.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's also breaking rules, but...
Yeah.
This is the missing book that you already know relates to the whole historical backplot going on. And your only comment is, I can earn some credits.
She got so caught up in the moment.
She just got so excited. She's
She
like, oh,
believed her
there's an
own
opportunity to be a good girl.
I didn't realize that you actually could turn in the book.
Can
Because
you?
I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
someone posted a thing on about their demerit page, and it had like returned book plus 5 demerit.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Whereas
What?
let me.
What do you
Put
do?
it back in
Yeah,
the glass case.
It was Knockout Queen of the Underworld posted it, and how do you? Yeah, and they returned it, and there's like a plus 5 demerit, like 5 credits.
You can just plop it back in the case?
It's crazy.
Yes, I forgot to do that this time. Dang.
All these years, I had no idea.
Me either. It was like a day after I finished, and I was like, what? That, and I also didn't realize that you could break, like Cammy was saying, that you could break the display case if you just like kept shaking it or whatever.
What? Are you serious?
I think I did that once when I was really young. Like the
Like if-
flag falls, right?
I don't know. Again, it was just a screenshot that I saw of somebody, but they were like, what did I do?
Yeah, I think if you click on it enough, one of the flags that's protruding out from the case like falls and smashes it.
Oh, now I want to go
Oh.
back and do that.
I've never heard of that. I missed that.
That one's pretty cool. I really like the piano puzzle in this one.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
I love the piano ones in Nancy Drew because I like took piano like all through like K through 12. And so anytime there's a piano, I'm like, yes, this is my domain. I got it.
I also enjoy the piano puzzles and the music puzzles in general. I took piano for a hot minute for a couple months and then I dropped it, but I also used to play piano by ear a lot. So I don't have professional training on it. And I've gotten worse just because I'm out of practice, but I used to just, mess around a lot on the piano. So I have like a little bit of experience doing it. But even if I didn't have that experience, I just like music puzzles.
I feel like they're always so cool. And also, shout out to Realize Who I Need for their Welcome to the Black Parade cover.
Yes.
Great. I laughed out. It was great. It made
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was a very good one. And Waverly Academy definitely had the best piano in the series.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what else do I want to talk about?
Okay, can we talk about Rita Hollowell?
Yes.
Because her, notebook, I feel like her clues are, so vague, for the things that you have to do. Did she want this to be found or not? Because I feel like it was really difficult. And, the whole Blackwood Society chanting, you need those numbers to open the furnace, Okay, who else would figure this out, besides Nancy Drew?
I was, especially with the chanting one, I was like, first off, this chant implies that, you don't, you have to realize that all of the numbers are relevant, but, because it's, 3 is fine, but 9 is more, whatever. So originally I was like, okay, so I don't need to mess with 3 because 3 is fine. But 9, I need to turn it more.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh.
So I was overthinking it, and it was driving me crazy. And I also thought I needed it originally for the placing the, star things on the cat stain. And that was also driving me crazy because I was like, okay, it's not in 3, but it goes in 9, and then maybe in 7, and then I was doing it based on the released number rather than organizing all of them from the book in the right order. So yeah, I played myself a lot.
Let me tell you,
Rita got you good.
That yes, that last puzzle with the shapes and the stars on the wall, I did not find out how to properly solve that puzzle until my playthrough from 2 months ago. I am dead serious.
It made no sense. I actually did it myself.
See, good for you.
So much work too.
It is it requires a lot of mental focus because you have to keep track of which ones you've passed. But yeah, it just made no sense to me all the years that I played it. And, normally when that happens, I'll, be really young when I play a game for the first time. So I get frustrated, I get a spoiler, whatever. But I'll go back when I'm older and try to solve it for myself, And so I finally got to that point, earlier this year. But I still couldn't do it on my own. I literally had to go to UHS and get a nudge. Yeah.
I did too.
I didn't get a spoiler, but I had to, literally have it explained to me. This is what it means. This is what you're supposed to do. Because I just didn't get it.
Too. And then I felt so defeated by it. I was like, oh,
I know.
I guess.
I know.
Especially after sitting there with that riddle for so long, trying to combine that with the things in the book, and I was like, this was I spent way too long, and it's not even relevant. This puzzle, the chanting does not matter at all in relation to this. I just needed to put them in order, and I felt. I was like, at this point, I don't even want to do the put them in order because I feel so defeated.
Yeah. And back on Cammie's note about Rita's clues being really vague, the one that gets me the most actually is how the words Victorian dinner or whatever, it's mentioned once in passing. It's rammed into the middle of a much longer run-on sentence, and that's all you have to go on. And in addition to that, when you look up the words, if you look up the words that Rita mentions in the library catalog, the book won't even pop up.
I had to do what you guys suggested with like typing in fiction, and I was like, oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize I had typed in fiction just because I was curious because I had seen the post about how that had every single book in like the universe that she has ever seen. And so I was just scrolling through them, and then all of a sudden she was like, "Oh, I need this book from you," and I was like, "Where did you learn that fact?" Like,
that's great.
Here. Also, it relied on the fact that like Mel's family continued to return every year to the university and hang the same crocheted thing up.
Oh yeah, for the
Oh, that's true.
more whatever.
To read the more book. You were playing a long game in here. Also,
that's true. That's a very flighty detail to rely on.
Also, like, Rita, why did you build a pendulum that was swinging through? Like,
she loved Edgar Allan Poe.
I get that. Like, it concerns me the level at which you love. Like, you took away a lot of the like horrific parts.
Yeah,
I'm gonna chop your head off if you try to take my book.
Like,
that's true.
Didn't you want someone like to find these works at some point?
I have never made this connection that Rita made the pendulum. Like,
I know, right?
Just met
what?
Poe briefly, like at the end of his life, she tells him she's a fan. Poe's like, you know what, I'm dying right now, so like I'm gonna give you my stuff. She takes it and then just goes like hog wild, building an elaborate like instead of publishing them for him or anything, she's like, you know what's a better solution? Put together a bunch of cryptic puzzles.
Hide them.
Revolving around this one specific school that may not stay in business for the following few years. Then put it through the furnace. And then on top of that, I'd like someone to come in and build a pendulum. That's
only stopped by solving this puzzle involving shapes and great plates.
Like, who are these workers that agree one to crawl through the furnace?
But also, like, what? Why would that puzzle like determine someone's value in having that work of fiction? You're like, oh, you are now worthy.
I think she was just trying to like enact Poe's stories or something.
Or this is all Poe's like last dying wish, and she's like, all right, man, I guess.
Again, like every little piece Poe flims. Like if you think about, like, it has to do with that one specific book because it has those copies of his works, because he has more works than what's in that particular book. So, like, if that got stolen from your library, or they were like, this is an old copy, we should chuck it and replace it with some new, like, print editions for everybody, like, you'd also be... Like, there were way too many things that could have gone wrong.
Yeah, it's true. I know we've been talking a lot about, like, if you don't want to die, just move to the opposite end of the room.
Right.
Yeah. The pendulum thing. Like, the only thing I can come up with, like, the room is sealed, right? So I guess the whole point was, even if you don't get sliced to death, you'll, like, suffocate to death or whatever.
Like, I guess it would smash through the puzzle, so like, you couldn't solve the puzzle anymore.
Right. That's what I was
so
thinking.
Then you'd be trapped.
Oh.
That, because I was all the Tumblr posts had me thinking about it, and that's kind of the conclusion that I came to.
Although it is solid stone on the sides, like,
yeah,
I don't know which one would come out ahead. I don't know.
Someone had mentioned, and I read the book, but it's been so many years, but someone had mentioned that in the book, like, the floor kind of like falls out, so you're kind of like stuck where you're at.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I remember. Oh, okay.
The scene actually. Wow, that's an even better point. You could just not step up. Because basically, when you look at the cutscene, it looks like it's basically just a pressure pad.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so getting stuck also makes sense, like, with the story, because that's how, like, the whole pendulum thing is by Poe. Is like the person, I think, is like trapped or whatever, is tied to the floor and like has to like watch it swing down on them or whatnot.
Right.
So that would be.
Corinne takes the book and then leaves, right? So like. It was just if you happened to be the second person in the room and step on that thing that triggered it. It wasn't actually taking the book or anything.
True. Like, why did the doors close after Corinne?
Maybe Corinne hit, like, some kind of secret button on the other side, but, like, why would that be built in now? Again, Rita, I have so many questions for you.
can only seal the doors from the outside.
It's both a shrine to my book and also a murder room.
She's like secretly a sadist. She's like, haha, I'm gonna murder some people.
Rita Hollowell.
She needed like
After
a
Dark.
real life action Edgar Allan Poe book.
Yeah.
Fiction just wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, I'm a former teacher, so I kind of understand. You got some pent up rage there.
I am a current teacher, and yes, I teach preschool.
Oh, girl. So, yeah, you should know.
Yeah, I work with middle schoolers.
Oh, wow.
Another one. No, sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, so I had so small confession. When I was like, I think started when I was 14, had started writing a very long, like, almost novelization of my own fan fiction, essentially, for Francis and Dirk. And so, yes, and it's on my laptop. Eventually, maybe I'll show you guys.
Yes.
But and I never finished it, but I had initially planned on the way I would finish it was I was going to have Frances actually work at Waverly. So she left because I think in the game, if I remember correctly, she like leaves Arizona and she goes to the East Coast. And I was like, oh, perfect.
That is perfect.
When I replayed the game though, like Rita was there at 1866. And so I was like, okay. My headcanon initially was that she was going to change her name to Rita Hallowell. Now that doesn't work out because timelines. But
yeah, that would have been cool though.
There. I know. That 14-year-old me was like, this is genius.
Art.
True art.
That's awesome though. I really, really like that though as a concept.
You know what? I'm gonna have the headcanon be that her and like Rita was like her mentor because they would have a lot in common. You know, Rita had this crazy, elaborate treasure hunt, and she'd be like, "Yeah, dude, I get it."
She's like, "I know."
Yeah. She's like, "Listen, I got you. Let me show you."
Love me some puzzles.
Yeah, maybe she's the one who founded the Blackwood Society. Like she was like, "Okay, you." My mentee, you're the first in my line of descendants.
Excellent. The headcanon continues.
Okay, so less story focused, but just general character opinion.
Yes.
How does I just kind of want to hear everyone's breakdown of like these people in general.
These insane girls.
Personality.
Yes.
Well, I was just gonna say, I saw this. I was going through like the tag on my blog for the game, and there was some post about how like all of the characters are so annoying.
Yeah.
But somehow they're like, you still like the game. Like, well, at least I do. Like, even though all these characters are kind of the worst, but like. It's still good somehow. I don't know.
I love that Nancy was so ready to just like start crap with everybody.
Right?
Like,
she was here for
that.
Like
when she goes to like meet Mal, and it's like, so who's smarter?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I thought it was so funny.
And I would pick all the sassiest answer. I was like, excellent. Let's stir the pot.
I'm not really a student here. I don't care.
Yeah. She's just starting fires and then walking away like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
All of the ones that are like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, all the texts that say like unknown are just Nancy, like, ha
ha. Right.
I was going to say, I think it's so surprising how much all of the characters seem to like Nancy. Like, they will all talk to her. They're not, like, mean to her like they are to the other characters in the game, which I think is interesting.
I don't know.
Nancy's not exactly cool,
True.
Yeah. I think they're sizing her up.
Yeah, that's probably true. I just thought it was interesting how pretty much the first thing that Izzy learns about Nancy is that she's friends with Corinne, and she's been talking to Rachel, and yet Izzy seems to like. I mean, she seems to be okay with Nancy, right?
She's really friendly with her, I feel like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say so too.
I mean, you know, aside from the first, oh, your hair's on hair comment.
Oh my god.
Yeah, red hair looks good on some people.
You're not one of them.
Yeah, you're like, thanks.
That is the ugliest top I've ever seen.
So, Izzy, I feel like Leela said it best. What you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mel, I think, is pretty cool, but she also tends to be a little judgy.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. She is my favorite character out of all of them.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. She just tends to be a little elitist, I think.
Yes.
You can tell she kind of does think she's better than everybody.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, one of the things that bothered me this playthrough that I don't think, like, I don't know, because I've always liked Mel, is when she's talking about how she just wants to be valedictorian despite everybody, and then she also talks about how it's such a big deal for a lot of them, like, financially, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of a little, sadistic there.
Yeah.
Sadistic. I know. And when she's talking about Leela, and she's just like, you know, her descent into jockdom, like...
Yeah.
I was like, she can't like sports, like she's still smart, and
it strikes me as a little closed-minded. But you know, other than that, she's still pretty cool. I like her energy. I like that she doesn't really care.
Yeah, and I mean, also, I have to like remember that, like, if she's been mocked by everyone else at the school for so long, it's kind of easy to want to lash out and be judgy to someone new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're around Izzy energy, and then whatever the heck is happening in your mind with Rachel, like, that would be so bizarre to have conversations with Rachel.
Got this bizarre
Rachel is the worst.
Yeah, no, Rachel is for sure the worst. Leela is another one. I don't think she's that bad of a person.
Oh, no, I actually like Leela a lot.
I actually think Leela is probably one of, if not the, actually just nicest.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Out of all of them.
She just wants to play games with people.
Yeah.
She's a little annoying, but
for sure.
Nothing bad.
Especially when you're playing a game with her.
Oh, the dark.
I know, Kimmy, your post about...
That was great. The pitch was perfect.
Yeah, Kimmy, your post about muting the game when you play Screw.
Dude, I did that and I was like, this is way more fun.
She hits like the 2 next, and she hits like the 2 instead of the 18 or whatever, and she's like, nailed it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, listen, you didn't even contribute to that goal. I knocked that in myself.
Yeah, for real.
Credit where credit's due, okay?
Yeah.
Don't want to hear it.
It's the real reason no one's liked her for years.
Yeah, right? Just because of the games.
Mm-hmm.
She would get along with Jane Penvillin, I think.
Oh, dear Lord.
For real. Nothing would get done.
So back when I was 12 and I was playing this game for the first time, you know how when you play air hockey with Leela, Nancy has her phrases that she will say as well.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, she goes, "One for the good guys." And little 12-year-old me was so convinced that what if it was a conspiracy theory and it was a subtle hint that Leela's the bad guy.
Oh.
And now I look back and I'm just like, why would I?
It's not just Nancy being corny.
As if corny's all corny. As if Nancy's
like
not already the corniest
move.
person
She's like,
alive.
Nancy's detective move is going, one for the good guys, and just waiting for Leela's response. Like, we're gonna trip her up. Like, oh, darn, you caught me.
How'd you know?
One of the old posts that I found was by Polyester Givens, and she made these like more accurate game covers, and for Warnings at Waverly Academy, like the little, there's like a little text that's like kind of gives you a tiny hint about like what the mystery is.
Or, like, yes, I love those.
Yes, and she put pretend to be a loser at an elite, but the pretend is in quotation marks. And I just like died laughing, like Nancy is so not cool, or like
I know, right?
She's just
pretend to be a loser. That's so good. My favorite one of those with the taglines was the one for a Scarlet Hand, where it's like Nancy thinks everyone is deaf. Because seriously, like Scarlet Hand, ever since I was a kid, I was just like, why is Nancy yelling all the time? Who is King Bacall? Okay, sorry. I know we're getting off topic. This is me. I'm the one getting off topic this time. But
you're good.
For Deception Island, am I the only one who noticed the insane octave her voice is during her intro speech for that game?
Wait,
okay, so I don't know how long it is until we get to Deception Island on the playthrough, but literally for that game, her intro, she sounds like a 5-year-old. She's like, welcome to my latest case. I can't do it.
That does sound familiar.
I can't do it. It's so strange.
It'll be interesting if we play like one of the later games and then go back to like an older game, like back to back, because I think you can really tell that she does sound older.
Mm-hmm.
In the
later
games,
honestly, I noticed it in Ghost Dogs. I noticed how much younger her voice sounded.
I didn't get to play that when my computer wouldn't work, but yeah.
I had just finished playing Sea of Darkness. Actually, that was the last one that I played. Before the Clue Crew playthrough started, and so the first jumping from Sea of Darkness to Ghost Dogs, I was like, wow,
Yeah,
you really hear the difference in her voice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I've been distracted scrolling through the tag.
I know. I'm trying to see if I can find some good memes to shout out. I feel like that should be a regular.
I know we need like a segment corner of our favorite.
A regular segment of our favorite shout outs. Honestly, Cammie, you were on a roll with the Waverly live blog. I mean, seriously, going through my Waverly tag, I seriously like 7 or 8 of the posts in a row were from you.
Yes.
Dude, there's something about playing the games and knowing that other people are playing them too that just made it feel so different for me. Like, I was noticing different things and putting things together. I just had like all this motivation to like actually make posts about it, which I don't normally do.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm loving this Clue Crew playthrough.
I'm telling you, it's hard to say.
It is.
But yeah, no, I agree. It's so cool because you know that the community is going to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like when you just replay a game on your own, you know, you can make posts, but if it's not relatively fresh in somebody's memory, they're not going to be able to fully appreciate it, you know?
Yeah.
True.
But so this way, it's like, you know that people are going to get your posts.
Yeah, it's been so much fun.
Oh, that's a good one. This wasn't from the Clue Crew playthrough, but one of my favorite posts for Waverly Academy is, it's actually by a user, LAVL Enchanted, something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your username. But I'll post it on the video. But so it says Nancy coming across locked doors at Waverly Academy, and it's the Edgar Allan Poe meme where he's like squinting at the paper. This door's not locked.
That was driving me crazy.
I remembered she did it, so I only knocked.
See, I would knock and then immediately open it, and she would still tell me that the door was not locked, while the character was also simultaneously saying, "It's open." Oh
no!
How about that? The door's not locked.
Thanks, Nancy. Thanks for that. Okay, also on just like, again, crazy things this game does unapologetically. Just the Blackwood Society in general, and I know there was a conversation about this before the playthrough started, but like, I don't think I would have the self-confidence to put on the cloak, sneak out, and start chanting, because you gotta time that, right? And like, how did you learn the words?
Right.
Like, do you all sit down the first meeting? And like, wouldn't you recognize the people's voices? Like, I just
Yeah, I guess they like
No, everyone only whispers, so you can't tell who they are.
Oh, okay.
That's what Izzy says, or one of them.
Well, Izzy knows who they all are because she picks them, which I also was like, why Mel?
Yeah, true.
Yes, I thought that was interesting too that she would choose Mel.
I mean,
I know,
maybe
I
it's
had that thought
such
too.
a legacy.
Maybe, yeah.
Yep, I had that thought. Maybe she was actually being a little thoughtful and was like, you know, this seems up her alley. Maybe she dig it.
This is on brand for Mel.
On brand for Mel.
That's true. That's true. Of the people who would enjoy dressing up in a cloak and...
Oh, so in this playthrough of mine, I had the conversation with Izzy about, you know, I know you're the leader. But then in a dialogue bit, Izzy's like, "In that cloak you found?" But I never mentioned that I saw the cloak.
Ooh.
And so I was just wondering if that's always been a thing and I just haven't noticed it, or if it was the way that I played. Like if there was a dialogue option maybe that I chose that cut it out of the conversation and it was just an oversight.
Yeah, because how else do you bring it up to Izzy that you know that she knows the chant? Because I thought that was the only way, is to say, "I saw the cloak in your room," or
no, because she says, "All right, who blabbed?" And you're like, "It's not important."
Oh right.
And then she's like, "Well, what's in it for me?" Nothing. But yeah, I was pretty sure that it was never mentioned that I found the cloak until Izzy said it. Because it caught me off guard. So I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
Maddie, did you have something you wanted to talk about with Mean Girls?
Yes, I feel like there's clearly a casting that could be done. I don't actually have like a firm opinion on anyone of this, but I've sat and thought about it for a while.
I think it's very obvious that Izzy is for sure Regina George.
Oh,
right.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love your skirt.
Ugliest skirt I've ever seen.
The problem, though, with that is that at Waverly we have a 3-to-2 ratio, with 3 being the outcasts.
I know. Yeah, this is the issue here. Well, I think definitely Nancy is catty in this case. She's
fair enough.
She's starting crap up all the time with people. Like she is kind of pushing buttons.
Fair enough.
She broke in and messed with her cloak. Like.
Yeah, you're right. I think maybe Leela for Karen, and then Nancy for what's her name? Gretchen?
Wait, for who did you say?
If we're going with the Nancy is catty route.
Because my thing is, because Gretchen is like the really dumb one, right? So I'm
I thought that was Karen.
Is it Karen?
Right, because isn't that
Gretchen has brown hair.
Yes, you're right. You're right. It's Karen. And then I'm like, I mean, problem is that the twins are getting blackmailed by Corinne. And so I'm like, oh, you are doing someone's bidding. And you're also real dumb.
Yeah.
So I go back and forth there.
I just found that post. Hold on. Who posted this? Oh my god. Okay, this one was from Queer Dagny, where she just took Kim's stretchy arm in the attic and like extended it forever.
And stretched it, yeah.
So good.
Oh, that post where someone's like, I lost Talita so many times, she just gave me the picture of Megan.
Yeah.
And then
That
someone
is so
else comments.
funny.
Yes.
That always happens to me when I play Number Punch. And then someone else like, you lose Number Punch so much that you get a picture of Megan.
I know.
It was like the perfect.
It was. Right, well, we are coming up on the hour mark here, so do you guys have any closing thoughts?
I mean, my only concluding thought is that Jacob is a hunk and should be appreciated in all of his beautiful glory. In wearing goggles is what it looks like, in my opinion.
Goggles.
Clearly, he's ahead of his time.
Oh, that photo! Like, I can just sit here and laugh at it.
It's so...
Like, it
I know, like,
so
this
much.
is the boy these girls are fighting over.
The other
To be fair, it's an all-girls school, and this is probably the only boy in, like, a 5-mile radius.
The other thing that gets me is, like, did Izzy have this photo? Like, she's been hiding it under her pillow or whatever until, like, it was official, or did she, like, steal it off?
That's what I was wondering. I actually had the same thought.
Like, she's like, this is yours and it belongs here.
I mean, they are roommates, so it could have been on her side of the bed. She's
Right? Like,
it's
it's like,
now.
She just commandeers this picture.
She just shifts it like a couple feet to the left or inches or whatever.
Now. But yeah, after that, I think that's my last, like, main Waverly take.
It's a hot take right there.
I know, right? Scorching.
What if it's like one of her employees, like, son or something like that? Like, you know, they put like their real pictures in there.
Yes.
It's like an intern they had one summer. They were like, before you leave.
Like, let us take a pic. Okay, as a last thought, who do you guys think is the valedictorian?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, it can't be Corinne because she tried to, murder you.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Corinne has been kicked out for good.
Which is so sad because she could have solved all of these without, Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, I think that if Corinne hadn't been the culprit, she would have been the valedictorian.
Yeah.
Personally.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But since she's not, it's down to what did Nancy call it? A knockdown drag race or something.
Yeah.
Between Izzy, Mel, Leela, Rachel, and Megan.
Well,
it's not going to be Rachel.
Because she failed that test.
Yeah, it's not Rachel. So what? Leela, Mel, Izzy, and Megan.
And didn't it say it was Megan?
Oh, yeah.
No, they don't actually disclose. They don't disclose who the valedictorian was, but they say that Megan goes back to school and jumps back into the running.
Oh, okay.
I vote for Megan. Like, I actually like talking to Megan on the phone. Mm-hmm. She was the most likable character.
Mm-hmm. The most normal one.
I think about it. Yeah, definitely the most normal.
Yeah,
not like a caricature like all the other girls are of like what you think high school girls are like, or
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Megan felt more authentic, like an actual human being, rather than a stereotype. I've always thought that too. I've always been of the opinion that Megan probably would have ended up winning valedictorian. Winning, is that really a thing you win?
Yeah.
You earn? I don't know.
Yeah, awarded.
Yeah.
Plus, after being essentially poisoned, you deserve a win.
Yeah.
I know, right? I've heard people argue that they didn't think Megan would be valedictorian because of how much school she missed and whatever, but I don't really think that would have an extreme effect on it, personally.
Well, they're like on break right now, right? And she can be working on her essays at home. But
yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, to be fair, like, again, Mel's just playing cello all the time. So, like, I think it's safe to say
true.
You
She's not
could
gonna get
just
any
be
work
chilling
done.
on your break.
And Leela's just playing air hockey,
Yeah, that's true,
Yeah.
too. I feel like Leah would be the surprise victory, because she just kind of doesn't care. It just happens for her.
Yeah. She's like, oh, dope.
Nice.
No, dope.
Maybe
Let's
she's
play
the
some air hockey.
one that actually like did her work on time, and so the other girls are just like way
That's
behind doing all
true.
this stuff. Great game. I'm a big fan.
I enjoyed. It made me laugh. I felt restricted that I couldn't climb out the window on day 3. That's my one complaint.
Or you can't like make it night again. Like I wanted to like sneak out more.
Yes,
but
what if I need a nap?
Because I didn't do enough of that for the award, and then it was like, I can't go to sleep now. I have to figure out who's failing the twins. I'm like,
I know.
How can I sneak around then?
Right.
That's what I did. Like I forgot to take the photo of the United States map in the classroom, and so I woke up the next day and she was like, I can't go to bed, and then randomly you're allowed to break in during the daytime on the last day.
Yeah, you can on the last day.
I know.
Like I don't get the logic there. I know from a game design standpoint why they left it that way, but as far as
Paige was taking the day off.
She's just chilling.
Oh, I know, right?
worst RA ever.
Well, I think that Waverly is a pretty well-liked game overall in the series. Yeah. It's really good if you're here for the drama.
Yeah.
There's some
honestly for the atmosphere is pretty good.
Yeah, I like the atmosphere. There's some good puzzles too, like the piano. I think is fun.
Yeah, I liked doing like the DNA puzzle and
homework simulator.
Oh, yeah. All the homeworks that
homework
I had
simulator.
To do. The plagiarism that was going on behind this.
I was gonna say, maybe that's why I like this game so much when I was younger, because big nerd, and I was like, yeah, let's do some homework.
Big nerd energy.
Okay, also, one more thing that I forgot that I wanted to mention is the end credits for Waverly, where Nancy is critiquing all of her photographs. I think this is evidence that Nancy does in fact walk around with her camera at all times, and that's where she gets those photos at the end of the early games. She clearly is an amateur photographer person, and like she enjoys making fun and taking pictures of me.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, I just feel like it's canon now. That's but anyway, that was my last mention. I saw someone posted and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining me again this week.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Once again, thank you, Cami, for joining. And
thank you for having me.
Of course. And I guess I'll talk to you guys next week.
Talk to you then. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.